on the Chris Smith Show Open House.
Well, the Sydney lockdown has been going for, over 7 weeks now, as one of the reporters pointed out to the Premier, yet the Sydney property market has continued to defy, gravity as clearance rates and prices remain so strong. Increasingly, segments of the market are coming under pressure, though. I thought I'd get a read of where we're at, where the trend is, where the pressure is occurring. Peter O'Malley from Harris Partners is here. He's also a sponsor of the station, and he's always got his finger on the pulse on the market. And we should talk to him now because we are getting into that period where things are getting warmer. This is usually a very popular time for people to put their houses on the market. And let's try and get a feel for how the market will perform over the next 3 to 4 months. Peter O'Malley, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Year to date, how has the market performed?
According to CoreLogic, until the start of August, houses were up a whopping 21%, Chris, in Sydney, and units were up 10%, which is a phenomenal recovery from where they were late last year. So the market has been extremely resilient.
So the unit market, the apartment market, has experienced a spike too.
That's right. I think the gap between house prices and apartments became so wide that home buyers were inadvertently pushed across into the apartment market. What we're seeing minimal signs of distress, thankfully, in the market at the moment, Chris, but the distress that we are seeing is beginning to build in that apartment market and rental market again, yeah.
Okay. How's the property market faring with everything locked down the way it is?
Agents that I phoned around the city this morning have all told me a similar story. Stock levels are down, but buyer demand is not down as much. Therefore, the market is still strong. There are still more buyers than sellers active in the market, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. What are the best and worst performing sectors of the market at the moment?
Look, top end of the market is doing particularly well. I heard of a sale in the eastern suburbs this morning where the person sold it for $10 million more than they paid for it without having done anything to the property 4 or 5 years ago. So that's symptomatic of what's happening. Family homes are in highest demand out there, Chris. And unfortunately, those markets that are locked down are experiencing limited demand because buyers understandably don't want to go into those lockdown LGAs.
Okay, if you want to sell your home or your apartment, should you list this coming spring? Because it's a very popular time to do so.
Yeah, look, a lot of stock tends to come on the market in spring, but what we've seen during winter is the lack of stock has inadvertently created strength. So what home sellers need to decide this spring, because it's looking like we'll be locked down for essentially the entire spring season, are they better off waiting for the end of the lockdown when there might be a bounce in the market, or are they better off to take the strong prices that are on offer now?
And what do you think?
I think vendors are probably better off going now. There has to be economic damage that's being done underneath the surface here, Chris. We don't know what that is at the moment.
So you're suggesting there will be a correction down the track?
It's highly conceivable. If the government don't come forward with greater support measures, you would have to think there is going to be some sort of day of reckoning at the end of this. The current property market is defying all logic. It's probably important to note, Chris, that the share market hit a record high this week as well. So we've got record high share markets and record high property markets whilst the economy is locked down. And I think most people would agree that doesn't make sense going forward.
No. The housing market boomed after the 2020 lockdown. If we have a lifting of restrictions in October because we reach 70 or maybe 80%, or say November 80%, will the same thing occur, do you think?
I don't think so as last year. The great difference between last year's reprieve with the lockdown and what will happen this year, Chris, is there is not the government support or the free cash that's been pushed out into the economy to the same degree. I think we might have a relief rally coming out of the lockdown if it happens soon enough. But if it does go past September, October into November, when they unmask the economy, I think it'll be a case of seeing how much damage has been done. Yeah. There are so many sectors. I went to do an appraisal on a hairdressing firm this week, and they're just locked down for the last 7 weeks, as we know, with no hope of any income in the next 6 or 7 weeks. There's a lot of pain being pushed into the marketplace and the economy at the moment.
And some hospitality venues that, you won't see them open those doors again, will you?
No, we're seeing it in our local commercial strip here. The shingle, the commercial business shingles coming down and the for lease signs going up. It's tragic what is happening out there, and I'm sure it's being replicated right across the city.
Yeah, I think you might be right. All right, that's interesting. We'll watch with great interest. Good on you, Peter. Much appreciated. Have a good week.
You too. Thanks, Chris.
All right, Peter O'Malley from Harris Partners. Interesting, isn't it? There has to be a correction. Or is that a crash? Will it go as far as being a crash?